Today we're going to demonstrate installing Shelf-Maid's patented T-lock mounting brackets for the purpose of mounting floating shelves. They can be used for other things, but primarily they're designed for installing floating shelves. It has a mounting plate that attaches to your wall. You locate a stud and screw the mounting plate to the wall, and then hang your bracket on it. In this case, this is the 10-inch bracket, the T-lock bracket. This one will hold, this particular mounting plate and bracket combination will hold up to 225 pounds. So it's a simple matter of putting the plate on the wall and then installing the brackets. Slide on the floating shelf. Good system. What we're going to do today is demonstrate installing this T-lock 1515-10. Now it's will handle up to 150 pounds. They all install the same way. The T-lock mounting bracket, mounting plate against the wall, and then attach the shelf bracket to that. And you got some adjustability for tilting your shelf, and that's a good thing. Let me point out a couple of pieces that come with the product. It has a 3.5 inch structural screw. Now that's this is the meat and potatoes for holding the thing on the wall, and it really is strong. So they don't recommend drilling a pilot hole for this. I do. I think you should drill an 1/8 inch hole about 1 inch deep just to get this thing started and going in straight. Shelf-Maid has a lag bolt. They call it double-headed because of this space right here. I call it a saddle, but this is a good bolt. I'd pre-drill this one all the way in using an 1/8 inch bit or so. 5 millimeters is my preference a bit, but drill a pilot hole for this. The first step in installing these brackets from Shelf-Maid for floating shelves is to locate your studs, get a line on the wall. You don't have to make as much mess as I did, but get your line on the stud, locate that. The manufacturer recommends a maximum of 32 inch spacing on these. In this particular case we're at 16 inches, but a maximum of 32. And then the rating for this one, 150 pounds per bracket. Pretty hefty load that it'll handle. So locate that, then get a line across so it's level. Be sure to be aware of this, that the line that you're drawing, this level line, doesn't reflect the top of the floating shelf. It will reflect the top of this T-lock mounting plate. So that's what your level line will do. So if your hollow shelf, it slides over this bracket, you might have another half or 3/8 or 3/4 of an inch. So just keep that in mind. This line reflects the top of the mounting plate. So you've got the studs marked. You located where you're going to put your brackets. Then the next thing in installing this bracket is you take these sticky back paper templates and line them up with the line like this. So simply put this on the wall, tape it to the wall where you're going to drill your holes. This hole on the top here is where you're going to put your structural screw. That hole is for your structural screw. Drill a hole about 1 inch deep with an 1/8 inch drilling bit, or I used a 5 millimeter to drill that, to pilot that hole. And then this hole, the one down below, that is the hole for the lag bolt. So using a 1/4 inch or a 5 millimeter bit, you can drill that one all the way in if you want. So that's for the lag bolt. This one is for the structural screw that really has your holding power. Notice these marks here and how I've extended the line here. What that is telling you is, so that line tells you where the center of this block is, and then you measure out 2 inches and it'll put your screw right in the center of this poly block, this composite thing here, for holding your shelf to the wall. I think that's a good design there. So what we need to do right now, before we go any farther, is drill these holes, these pilot holes, and get ready to attach these T-lock mounting plates to the wall. Now what's going to happen here that is important is this T-lock mounting plate fits into this double-headed lag bolt. We're going to put the lag bolt in first, and this mounting plate, wall mounting plate, slips right into that saddle, and that's how you get started with mounting this to the wall. Now the wall mounting plate for the T-lock system slides right over the top of that saddle, and there she sits. Isn't that beautiful? Now when you go to put in your structural screw, it isn't such a fight to get this thing lined up. You're pre-drilled a little bit so you can get this screw started like this, and then sink that screw in there. You can do the same thing here. Slide this into the saddle, and then take your structural screw and get it started. Because you pre-drilled that first inch, that makes this really nice on the structural screw, that being pre-drilled. Requires the use of a T30 star drive bit in order to drill that, to sink that structural screw. There it is, the mounting plate is on the wall. Structural screws are in with the mounting plates on the wall and lined up with the horizontal line. Now all we have to do is take our shelf bracket for the floating shelf and put those on the mounting plate. Notice how nice that goes onto the bracket. And then, as we said, because we have this line here, we can measure out 2 inches, and that's where we can set this, use this set screw to keep our shelf in place. So what's nice about this system is that by turning that lag bolt underneath, I can tighten this against the wall and to bring it down, or I can loosen it to tilt it up. It has a lot of tilt. Watch it on the video here and observe the amount of movement there. You see that? Look at that movement. Our level in this case, and now it's just a matter of grabbing this floating shelf and sliding it onto the bracket, and everything is level. At this point, we're going to transition into the mounting bracket, the economy bracket, which does not require a T-lock mounting plate. So let's take a look at how this one is installed. Installing this economy bracket doesn't require the mounting plate, but you still use the same paper template to do it, and you have to have this lag bolt screwed into the wall. So that's all stays the same. So instead of using a mounting plate, you just put the bracket directly onto the lag bolt. Just set it right on there, right into the saddle. The only thing you have to do is put in the structural screw. It's a little tricky. It requires an extension on your drill bit in order to reach that structural screw. We have to find that hole for the structural screw. And now that we got this nice long extension, it's just a simple matter of screw it in. Done. And slip the shelf on. Here again you have the line that we extended. Measure out 2 inches, and you can put in this little screw to keep your shelf from coming off the wall. So there you have it. Now that is the Shelf-Maid patented wall bracket system for floating shelves. It's a really nice one. I hope you like these. As I said before, we've got a variety of them, 6 different ones. This one, my favorite one, the 150-pound bracket also is available on 8-inch. So we have a pretty good system of brackets for installing floating shelves. One of the nicest ones on the market. Well, I'm fairly convinced it's the nicest one on the market. You should give some of these a try.